Now we're here in the Tower of Vishal. We have to reach the top of the tower and light the signal fire to alert Logain's forces. Logain is the general of the army, and he's waiting outside for our cue to go ahead and to do the main attack.
This sort of setting here, the kind of dimly lit castle environment, is that typical of the rest of the game?
There's all sorts of different environments in the game. I mean, all the classic things that you come to expect. There are some really dark and gloomy dungeons or castle interiors. There are also, wide open fields. There's ice-ridden mountaintops. There's giant sprawling cities with many different areas. Lots of great interiors as well. Pubs, taverns, whorehouses, all different sorts of things you're going to be able to go through Dragon Age Origins. Well, in this case, there's a little choice of dialogue. I mean, the choices you make in the game, it's how you want to play your character. Do you want to be maybe a kinder, more noble character? Do you want to maybe be a little bit of a badass and be a little crueler, a little meaner? How you play the game, it's up to you. We're in another area here. I'm going to move the party up. See the door over here. We'll go through here. And we got a genlock inside. You didn't see us coming, so we're going to be able to get in a quick attack. You can see the enemy has different powers as well. This particular genlock enraged himself using a berserk, so he was able to do more damage. But because it was 4-on-1, he really didn't stand a chance.
So, if I'm somebody whose experience with BioWare might be limited to like console RPGs like KOTOR or Mass Effect, what sort of learning curve am I going to have to deal with?
Well, it's pretty good. We're going to have a number of different difficulty settings in the game, so even players that are not very good with the combat, they're going to be able to enjoy themselves quite a lot. But it really evolves quite naturally. We never throw you too far into the deep end right at the start. What we're showing here today is a little further into the story, but you do start off gradually. We let you understand how magic works, how combat works in the game. So there's always a good learning curve so that everybody is able to enjoy the game, because there's no fun for anybody. Wow, the dialogue was great, the graphics were wonderful, but it was just no fun. I kept dying all the way through the game. There's just no point to having that sort of game.
We've got the mage right here. What other sorts of classes can we choose from?
You're going to be able to start the game as one of the 3 base classes, which is the mage, the fighter, or the thief. But they're what we call specialization packages. What that means is that even though you start off as a mage, there are different sorts of mages that you can be. Maybe you want to be, a blood mage, which uses sort of a darker, more sinister magic. Maybe you want to be a more kind, healing class mage. Same thing with fighters. There's, for example, a Templar, which is almost a mage hunter. There's also berserkers who are better at wielding giant two-handed weapons. Same thing, it's how you want to play the game. The choices that you make, how you level your character, the spells you choose, the specializations and the abilities as you level up. It's totally up to you. The game is really what you want to make of it.
What we're doing right now, is this a story quest or is this more of a sort of side mission?
This is sort of the main story of the game. We've been told we have to reach the top of this particular tower so that we can light a signal fire. There's always a good main story that runs through what we call the critical path of any BioWare story, but we also like to flesh out our game by giving all sorts of optional adventures. Side quests, mini missions, whatever you want to call them. It's totally up to the individual player how much they want to do. Maybe they want to pursue a romance with a particular character. Maybe they want to do a lot of the side quests. Maybe they don't want to do any and they just want to do the critical path. It's always going to be up to you how you want to end up playing the game. Now, I can't tell you exactly how much there is to play in the game, and everybody plays the game a little bit differently. Some people will speed through, some people will take more time. I can confidently say that this is the most content we've had in any of our games since probably Baldur's Gate 2. And that was a pretty darn big game. There's a lot to be played here, a lot to be experienced. But really, in the end, how much you get out of it, different players are going to want to do different things, and it's really up to you the experience you want in Dragon Age.
So one of the big hallmarks of BioWare games tends to be these really deep, fleshed out dialogue system. How does this one compare to your others?
I think we have probably some of the best characters we've ever created. Mike Laidlaw, David Gator, Kevin Martins, they're in charge of the writing and for the design of the game. They've done a phenomenal choice for the choices that you have to make. He's trying to lead us off in another direction. I don't want to fall for it. I'm going this way. There's a lot of great choices in the game. As always, there's some of the choices are a little more obvious, but everything you do will have repercussions in the overall game. I mean, sometimes you want to be that kinder, more noble class, and you want to help the widow and the orphans save their home from, the big bad. Other times you might want to be the darker, more sinister character. You might want to help the big bad get rid of the widows and orphans. I mean, it's all totally valid. It's up to you what you want to play in the game. And not everything is quite as open. Like you can see here moving into this area, if I pan the camera over a little bit, we've got some Darkspawn. In the end, we're going to release the Hounds of War. We're going to let the dogs do the job for us.
So when are we going to see it released? And we're obviously on the PC version, but I hear there's console versions coming as well.
Today we are on the PC, but there is going to be PC, 360, and PlayStation 3 versions. And we're looking at release in the fall of this year.
Thanks a lot.
Sure, no problem.